It's about noon on Sunday, August 20th, and we're at Carthage Jail near Nauvoo. I'm going to take some pictures. It's comfortable. Temperature's comfortable right now, so we're going to leave the dog in the car. Yeah, it's quite comfortable out here this morning.
That wasn't good.
Hey, you couldn't see from the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the jails were terrible.
Yeah, this was not
Yeah,
a pleasant place to be.
there's fancy curtains on those windows.
Well, that was Liberty.
Yeah, those other jails were put them in. They treated them so bad that now it's almost illegal.
Oh, yeah, it was the
Very illegal.
Oh yeah, some of the conditions then would be unacceptable in jails today, it's true.
Jail. Okay. Ow.
What, is it hot already?
Yeah.
The sun's shining on it.
So good you can see their veins.
Yeah, it was very, very well done.
But all black. But black.
It's bronze, I believe.
You can see their veins.
Missouri. Oh, that's too far away, I'm afraid.
Was in jail with Joseph Smith.
Oh, yeah. So are you headed that way?
We're going to Idaho Falls from Florida.
I don't think we're going to get
We're moving.
Well, this is kind of a
We're a little
bend
bit.
in the road, huh?
Yes, we routed our trip so that we could come through Nauvoo, and it's kind of symbolic. Well, I'm a convert to the church, and my wife is a long-standing member, and we joined the church, come to Nauvoo, head west. It's kind of symbolic.
Hey, it is, really.
You're being silly, please. Don't do that.
my shoulder. You have not pulling out this being in my Liberty jail. I wonder if they have anything in that. They got maybe they'll even mention being in there. Is this how the church chairs are?
What's this?
Is this how the chairs are to this church?
I think this is for part of the tour here.
In one block.
Everything young would also be good to be related to, like George Washington had, like, or Abraham Lincoln.
Remember, they converted it into a home.
Yeah, but I heard it was restored back to a jail. Wow. It's more like a home.
How many of you have not been in Carthage jail before?
Just about everybody.
Well, do you feel like just coming this far that you're in a home? You do, don't you? And And it did serve a dual purpose. Mr. Stegall was the jailer. His wife and 7 children lived here while they had that responsibility. Mrs. Stegall had the responsibility of feeding prisoners when they came. And she would have prepared those meals right here on the open fire. I think she would have been the first person to rejoice over that little summer kitchen, to get the heat out of the house during the hot days of summer. That little room that we just walked through was the dining area of the jail. And John Taylor wrote in his journal of having a meal there with the family, but being expected to pay for it. It was mandated by the court most often that prisoners pay for services received here. So for meals, for candles, for any personal items they might receive, they had to pay for. This particular room was important at the time of the martyrdom because Mrs. Stegall was in this room when the mob came in. The front door to this jail is just right around the corner from this door. And as the mob came in that door and started up the stairs and began firing, 2 bullets actually came through this room. She had 2 little girls playing on the bed and needed to rescue the little girls, and they went out this side door. So this particular room was the main family area, and a bed in this room would have been more for guests rather than for family itself. There are still some items in this room that are original. Some of the windows are still original, and most of the woodwork in this room is original. Many of the interior doors are original to the jail. How many of you young people ever lift the refrigerator at your house? Even the older folks. Do you ever do that? Not many of us do. But you could lift the refrigerator at this house. That was the refrigerator. They would secure items around on the prongs of things they needed to keep cool. And with the rope, they would lower it down into the well just above the water. That was the coolest place to keep food from spoiling. So they're not going to have a big selection of things they can keep cool, will they? Not like our refrigerators of today. There are 2 jail cells at Carthage Jail. One is on this floor and one is on the 2nd floor. We're going to visit the one on this floor right now. Those nearest the door, if you would open the door and lead us directly to the back, please. We'll go into that jail cell.
Is it the first original one? Sounds like a door.
May I lock you in?
Those are big keys.
Yes. Do those look like the front door keys to your house?
No, those look like they could be easily picklocked.
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe we ought to just have a little conference alone sometime.
Yeah.
This particular key is the one that fits this jail cell. The longer, more slender one fits the jail cell up on the 2nd floor. But of course, these are restored jail cells, not the original. But I thought you might enjoy seeing the size of those keys. They're huge. When the prophet and Hiram and 8 other men first came to Carthage Jail, they were taken to the dungeon cell, and that's directly above us on the 2nd floor. It was exceedingly hot. They estimate it could have been near 120 degrees in that cell. Thankfully, they were only there for a short period of time when the jailer invited them down to this cell. I'm sure that he could recognize they were not hardened criminals, they were not dangerous men, and gave them the opportunity of being here where they could be a little cooler, a little more comfortable. So they spent the first night here at the jail in this cell, but there were 10 men, so you can imagine that they probably filled the floor space fairly well. That night, before going to bed, they read scripture together, they sang a hymn, The prophet bore his personal testimony of the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon to 2 guards that sat right outside this cell door. That next morning, when the jailer, or Mr. Stikal, yes, the jailer came in, he was concerned for their safety because he recognized if there were people milling around outside that someone might easily be shot through those windows, and was prepared then to take them back upstairs. At that time, 3 of those men went back to Nauvoo. There were only the 2 that could not leave this jail. That was the prophet and Hiram. The other men were here by choice. They were here to support the prophet, and they could leave by pass. And that is what happened with 3 of those men that morning. They went back to Nauvoo. So only the 7 were taken back upstairs, not to the dungeon cell. The jailer gave them his private bedroom, and then that is where they remained for the rest of the time that they were here. That would have taken, I think, a great deal of trust. There were no bars on the windows. The lock on the door didn't even work. But they were honorable men, and they could be trusted. When the 7 went upstairs, we're going to tell you in that room what continued with the story of those 7 when we get there. This little door right at the end of the hall is the front door to the jail, and that is where the mob came in. That door was secured with a heavy wooden bar that fits across the doorway and into 2 brackets on either side. We still lock the jail every night in that same manner. But when that bar was in place, that prevented forced entry from the outside. The prophet and Hiram had been promised protection when they came to Carthage. And so, also guarding on the outside was a local militia unit called the Carthage Braves. The day that the mob came in, 2 things were very different. The first thing was that the bar was not in place across the door. The second thing was that the guns of the Carthage Braves that afternoon did not have live ammunition. They had the powder, but not the lead. So as the mob came to the front door of the jail, they could get directly in, and they also would not have been harmed by the guarding, supposed guarding, that was going on the outside. We recognize it was part of a conspiracy. It was well planned, and everything was in order that it could take place. We're going to go upstairs now and see that dungeon cell. So it sounds like maybe they're about out of the area. We'll see. Just a second.
On the only day they're gonna have it.
It's on purpose.
I'll say there's 4 coming.
Do you want to just go
They would.
right up and straight into the dungeon cell?
Put those stairs. Those things with the stairs on them.
Well, that's just so people won't slip. I guess this is where they put the dangerous criminals.
Oh my gosh. It's not even in the flight.
It's just the heat goes up, so it was, all the heat would be up here. It'd be cooler downstairs.
Was on this room when the mob came in. And this is the bullet hole of the bullet that killed Hiram. And this is the window where the prophet fell. This is the room where the 7 men came to spend the second night at Carthage jail. That night, Willard Richards probably spent a great deal of time writing. He was the prophet's private secretary. He was also historian for the church. That night, the men had asked the prophet and Hiram to take the bed, and the other men would find a space on the floor. Around midnight, a shot was heard outside the window. The prophet got out of bed and down on the floor with the men. And he turned to Dan Jones and he whispered, "Are you afraid to die?" And he said, "Has it come to that, do you suppose?" But he also added, "For a cause such as this, the fear of death does not hold many terrors." But the prophet reassured him he would live, that he still had a mission to fulfill to his native country of Wales. That was fulfilled for him later on in that same year. The prophet also turned to the gentleman on the other side, who was John Fulmer. And as they visited, the prophet offered his arm that John could rest his head more comfortably. And he had opportunity at that time to share some of the feelings of his heart, that he just wished that he could see his family one more time, that he could just preach to the saints of Nauvoo one more time. And that was not able to happen. During that next morning, during the morning hours, 3 of those men were sent out on assignment. And that was Dan Jones, John Fulmer, and Stephen Markham. That's why only the 4 were in this room when the mob came in. The prophet and Hiram, Willard Richards, and John Taylor. Our prophet today tells us to stand in holy places. We are in a holy place today, where a prophet of God gave his last final sacrifice for all that he knew to be true. And these are the events of that day.
June 27, 1844, dawned cloudy and wet in Carthage. By mid-morning, the air was hot and humid. The prisoners received a few visitors. They also read, conversed, and wrote letters. Joseph wrote to his wife.
Dear Emma, I am very much resigned to my lot.
Here we are at Sunday afternoon in Nauvoo, looking down from the temple grounds over the Mississippi River.
That is owned by the Church of Jesus Christ.
And that certainly looks like something that is owned by our church. We've run into several things here that are owned by the reorganized church, as you would expect. It's nice to be able to come here and see the Nauvoo Temple as it would have looked in the time, about the time Joseph passed away. Perhaps we should come back here sometime. We're about to say goodbye to Nauvoo. Must have been wonderful to have seen this, to be around here when the temple, a mere 4 years ago, was rebuilt. To be here 10 years ago when there was nothing there but a foundation, and then to see the temple reared again. I would have loved to have been here then. It's time for us to begin our trek west. We'll travel in this afternoon what took the Saints 6 months. Here we are at the Great Platte River Archway Monument. It arches over the interstate here. I had to go put the dog back in the car, soaked her down with water so she'd stay cool. Mm-hmm. There we are. Yeah. She'll be fine. I soaked her all over with a bottle of your water. There's no way she could be soaking wet and get overheated in there in that short time. Huh? That's a long way away.
Exhibits. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the trip.
Yeah, if you sit down, you can get sucked into that thing when it gets to the top. Happened to a boy one time, almost killed him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go backwards.
No, don't mess with your
The
mother.
last goodbye has been said. The last
Everybody, let me step out here. You should hear a story of the records that's out over this area.
Changing before they're done.
Yeah, so we should slow down. We should let them go.
What? What?
Past that wall is the 80s.
Oh, lovely. What, the 1880s? Oh yeah, looking at, we just drove down that road a little bit ago.
It's set to explode!
Just telling you how fast the cars are coming. Oh yeah, looking at, we just drove down that road a little bit ago.
It's set to explode!
Just telling you how fast the cars are coming.
Now it says record. Okay, we're now recording. We're going into the Rocky Mountains. We're just barely into the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
We're about 20 miles from Estes Park.
We're about 20 miles from Estes Park, and
I've got to pay more attention to my driving, I'm afraid.
and there's the beginnings of the Rocky Mountains. The kids think that these are mountains. Wait till they see real mountains.
I, for walking in.
Water.
I'm not sure what that is for. Whoa.
There's about a foot of water.
Except I don't have the other battery charged, so.
This is.
Once you just let them climb on that and
Look at
jump
these
off.
mountains, guys. Aren't they pretty? Water. See the water?
Going over 30, but in general.
Hey. A whole section of one of our tapes with we were talking and not realizing the camera was even on.
because we put the lens cap on and it was still recording, and we just laid the camera in the back and you could hear us talking for like a half hour until the battery ran out.
Until the battery ran down. And then there was also the time that we were in the house when Matthew was just a tiny baby, and we put the lens cap on and we just kept talking about Lori's house and stuff like that, remember?
Yeah, already starved to death.
There. Look at the picture. See the river running.
I need a tissue.
See the river running.
Give me a tissue.
Some of the mountains. We haven't gotten really to the park yet, but we want to get some pictures of the river running here. Oh, that bus just spoiled the picture.
Baby. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Oh, she wants to go to the length of that, doesn't she? And here's the bee hideout. Be yourself. There's my retirement home right over there. Ow, bug, bite me. Mom's getting her sandwich here. Better save the batteries for a little while later because I didn't charge up the other battery last night. I forgot. Cream cheese and ham. It's an unusual mixture.
It's good. Have you ever had it?
Yep. Let's make we could be in Estes Park in about 20 minutes. We're actually in the park of. We're actually in the park near one of the overlooks. So let's lock up and go walk over to that overlook over there.
I wonder if we can get any higher than this.
You got one pink and one black flip-flop. Lovely. All right, I guess, but we have to be careful over this road here.
It's a good thing we have a harness and not a collar, because if she had a collar and then she jumped off, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I bought the harness. It's a little more secure.
And a little bit safer.
Yes, it's that way.
Can I go up? Can I go higher? Can I walk higher?
Okay, let's go walk down to the overlook here.
I want to drop down there.
Whoa, long way down. What?
I need a rock.
No, 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 no.
I just want to see.
No, Zach.
Come on.
No! Hello, little bit.
Hey, little bit. Ow! Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, not there. Huh.
Now that's what I call a bad day if this thing broke.
Now lean on it hard, yeah.
Okay.
Ah, bug! Go off of me, bug.
You almost tore my toenail off.
Alright, they're excited because they saw whatever that is.
It's a chipmunk
And then over there on a rock is whatever that is. Where's that other thing now? There it is. Hello.
There's a chipmunk down there. I guess she's right.
Come on, you guys. You're slower than molasses. Grandma was slow, but she's old and had a peg leg. Come on.
I know how slow molasses is, and what the
Molasses in January.
Grandma's dead.
Well, she's even slower then, and you're slower than her.
Shut up. No, Cookie.
You need to get Cookie on the opposite side of that wall.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. We need to get the long pink.
Wow, the glacier's got this far down. Cool. Hi. You gonna check it out up there, big guy? Watch out. Hey, make sure you watch out for rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes like to stay under logs and under rocks. Check out that log. See if there's a rattlesnake under it. Check out that. See if there's a rattlesnake under that log. No, I'm just teasing you. You getting your exercise, girl? What? Dun 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 dun.
Come on, Cookie. Ow! Try to go. Ew. Ew.
Oh, that's like nasty. Okay, but better there than in the car. Oh,
Thanks.
they don't care as much about the scenery as the. I think that's a squirrel.
No, take a picture.
What is that thing anyway?
There's one chipmunk down there.
No, that's a little small for a chipmunk. Are you sure?
Whoa, look at that.
Hello. He almost ran on my hand.
I'm not sure what it is. Oh,
Aster, can you be careful?
yes.
Just a little, please. A little bit of caution. It's my favorite.
At least this doesn't have like a 500-foot drop like the Grand Canyon.
So just kind of roll a little bit.
You just roll and break a few bones. Is that a chipmunk? Oh, there he is. Let's see if I can get him.
Standing on the ledge, you might fall.
Guys, don't stand on the wall, please.
Oh, I never. Do that again.
Don't stand on the wall, please. Oh, look, you see the timber line? At a point up there, it gets so cold in the winter that it kills the trees, and it's called the timber line. So we've gone from desert to forest to where there can't be a forest.
Your face is hidden by Ashton. Sorry.
Hey, little bit. Hey, little bit. Hey there. You want to get out here and explore, huh? Chase chipmunks? I can't believe I ruined my brakes. Oh well. Now we were down there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We were down there just a little bit ago. There were some guys fishing down there actually. Whoa. Well, here we are at right in the heart of the Rocky Mountain Park. We're above the tree line. There's snow. It's August. No pets. I better go up there and watch Matthew. He has a way of getting himself hurt. You can do it big time up here. Over the edge. Look over the edge. Ah! Where's Matthew? Oh, look at that, Matthew. We've got to get to the other side of those mountains before it gets dark. Do you really want me driving roads like we just drove after dark?
Fine with me.
Yeah, you have too much trust in your dad. I'm getting tired. We may have to spend the night up here.
How many years have you had your driver's license?
About several times older than you are.
Yeah. You got peanut butter?
Okay, here. Oh no, I don't want that. I want you to see. This is Forest Canyon.
I do not think.
And there is a lake down there that is.
That's glacier, not snow.
No, it's not a glacier. Glacier means it's there all year round for a long, long time. Okay, we just got out of the mountains. We're safe now.
Except it's raining.
Except it's raining. Look, guys over there. They won't mind if I take a picture. I think I'll stay here since it's raining. Yeah, we need to get over to Steamboat Springs. That's where we want to spend the night. Rainbow? Where? Yeah, I don't know if I can see it. Yep, there it is. Rainbow. It goes all the way over. If you go behind the building, you probably see it over there.